On our tours, the smoothest and most efficient way to get from one destination to the next is generally by bus.
I actually was more anxious about the bus part than any other part of this tour. I thought, I don't want to be on a bus the whole time. And it was nothing like that.
I was very hesitant about the bus. When I saw the amount of bus time on this tour, I was like, that's not going to be good. But, first stepped on that leather-seated, well-lit coach, I was thinking this is going to be okay.
We get off the bus, and I'm thinking, was that really 4 hours? Because it felt like an hour and a half.
I hate to say this, but you almost look forward to the bus rides because it is so relaxing.
The buses, especially in this part of the world, are fabulous because you know that you travel 20, 30, 40 miles and the landscape changes. So you have views that you could never enjoy being on a plane. You have views you can never enjoy being on a car because the car is not high enough.
On a Rick Steves tour, the buses are really, I think, probably different than other tours because we use a full-size bus, but we only have a maximum of 28 people on it.
So there's always plenty of room to move around and feel comfortable, and if you feel like sitting next to somebody, you can, but if you feel like having a seat to yourself, that's usually a possibility. And the buses are all comfortable, they're air-conditioned.
We've all got plenty of room. We can stretch out in 2 seats ourselves. The bus is big enough that we all have our own little aisle to sit in if we want to.
You can stretch out, you can ask questions, have long conversations with people around you and get to know them.
You can go to sleep, you can watch the sights, you can read, you can chat with those around you. We've shared food up and down the aisles. Somebody will pick up chocolate at one stop and it goes up and down the bus.
I really liked having that free time to either catch up on sleep or study up on the next place we were going.
We've all taken some pretty good naps, I think, along the way. And the trips are really well coordinated with frequent rest stops, and nothing's felt like it was an all-day trip.
Usually we try to stop fairly frequently. We try to stop every 2 hours or so, either find a little town to stop in or just use a regular rest stop along the way.
And that gave us plenty of time to get a snack if we wanted to. Some people even used it as an opportunity to buy little souvenirs.
And coffee.
And coffee.
They broke it up beautifully. I mean, there was no big stretches, and all us women had time to go to the bathroom when we needed to.
Pizza!
Pizza! Wow. Before you get to a destination, you already know what to expect. You already got a lesson in the language of the town or culture or country, wherever you're pulling into.
I like to give a mix of quiet time and also take advantage of the fact that we're together, we have a microphone, and to talk about what's coming up next.
Almost every day, Ben comes in on the bus for us and talks about what's going to happen that day, where we're going to go, where stops will be. He usually goes through the history or background of where the location is we're headed for. So it's always really interesting to get that information up front.
There's a hike that you can do from Kleine Scheide called the North Face Trail that walks directly under the north face of the Eiger.
He always gives us tips about places to go and things we might want to think about doing and places we might want to eat, where we might get the most authentic food.
Then the great thing too is it's easy to answer questions, to go around, to move through the bus and to see if anybody has more specific personal questions that they need answered.
It's been informative, it's been fun, and it hasn't really been intrusive.
We know the drivers, they know us, and we have a good working relationship with them.
Our driver, oh my gosh, he's been great fun, Joe. He's wonderful.
Our bus driver, Joe, was such a charming man. A lot of fun. He's an amazing driver. Got us through some tight squeezes in Italy and some really steep Alps in Switzerland, so he knows his stuff, and he was a great addition to our tour.
He is always fun to work with. He's professional, he knows the route. And he's always full of suggestions, different options. And for example, we had a situation on this tour where a detour came up, they were doing some road work, and he suggested that we take the scenic route. And I think that for a lot of people going up and over the Swiss Alps, and just seeing a side of Switzerland that we, in a normal situation, would have completely missed, I think was a highlight for a lot of people.
It's amazing how he can get this coach through these little narrow passes. And Katie is terrified of heights and being on the mountains. And so, she was watching as he took these sharp turns up in the Alps, but...
I wasn't watching.
He led us up on this pass that took us past the tree line in the Alps, and it was amazing, and it added so much to the trip. We got out, we got to see something we wouldn't have regularly seen.
And that's the nice thing, is that we're flexible. Having our own buses allow us that flexibility, and having drivers that are willing to go above and beyond what's expected from them is a huge advantage for us.